One, and start streaming.
We are live again.
Great.
Because once is not enough. We want to do it twice. Hello guys, again. Technical issues. We are going to do it again because we don't want you to miss anything from this show. I mean, I'm here only once a week, so...
Right?
Yeah, that's the way. So, again, we are here with Dani Bodoni. He's researching a lot of good stuff about startups and the HR environment in not only Europe, and you also can see our environment here as a startup. And I will just let you, I mean, you know me, I'm Rico, I'm from Brazil. We are having the morning coffee, the English title coffee here at Abimato. And Dani, please introduce yourself.
Thanks very much. So my name is Daniel Bodoni. I've worked at a number of startups before as co-founder, as managing director in product-related roles. And I noticed one thing about startups when it comes to organizational and people-related matters is that they tend to make the same mistakes at each stage of their growth. So I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a book, kind of a single source, where a founder can go and see what they need to pay attention to as they scale from a seed stage to Series A, from Series A to Series B, and so on.
Basically for startups.
Right, yeah.
So big corporations can't learn from your book.
I think they can. So startups are known to innovate in a lot of ways, not just in terms of product, but also in terms of managing organizations and people. So I would recommend it to any HR leader who is interested in how startups can create great work environments.
Great, and that leads me to my next question. If even big corporations can learn with your book, what is this trend that comes from startups, that you're researching, that can be beneficial for each and every world, right? So to say, worlds of companies.
Fantastic question. So startups are created to innovate, to change things, to disrupt things. And I think more and more big corporations see the same need as their industries are being disrupted to innovate more effectively and more quickly. So if you are a startup, I think you can learn a lot in terms of how to structure your company as you grow. But if you're a big corporation, you can think about how you break up those structures every now and then to create pockets of innovation within your company.
Okay, and what is the main difficulty? I mean, what I see from my side is that it's kind of easy, let's say, to attract people to companies, but it's super hard to keep them, so retaining these people. They have these HR positions, which I would love that this name can change because humans are not resources, right? But whenever we change this for, instead of human resources to talent management, I think that even this small change of a name will provide people to see workers in a different way. Of course, we need the blue collars, still we need this kind of people that do manual work, but still they are still not resources, right? They are still kind of talents to do something. But speaking of startups, which are not using this kind of labor force, what is the main thing for a startup to retain people instead of just attracting more and more people?
Mm-hmm. So retention is a challenge these days, and what startups need to get right is to make sure that every person meets and kind of can live out their motivations at the company. So if it's very important for you to learn new things, then startups need to provide that to people. And there are many companies, for example, who provide personal development budgets and other trainings to make that work. If autonomy is very important for you, then that kind of flexibility to manage your time, to make your own decisions is what's going to keep you at the company. And there are many other factors that can motivate a person, but startups really need to understand, and every other company needs to understand, what are the things that motivate people, and how do you create structures to make sure that those motivations are met at the workplace. And I agree with you fully that HR needs to change, and it is changing, and you see that in the name. So a lot of companies call it people experience or employee experience or talent, which is what it is. And I hope that this change is going to be reflected in how HR operates, so it becomes not so much an administrative function, but more of a function that has all sorts of knowledge about psychology, about HR technology, about people analytics, about how teams and organizations can work together and function.
For me, as a business developer, I think that HR, let's say, it's the first step for a strategical growth in a company. So you start with talent management, and then you grow in a sense to, if you manage people well, if you manage your talents in a way, you have to, the next step is to think, okay, so how is this organization going to grow, right? So it's the, I think it's the stepping stone for organization development. And what I see now in Hungary, I worked in a multinational here, but talent management is not really a big thing. It's very, like, how to say, you put it, like, or not strategical, but functional kind of area, but it's like, you know, people don't really pay attention to it. Yes, but speaking about the opposite, speaking about the people, I mean, you've been researching companies, right? But companies are nothing without people.
Exactly.
What do you hear from people?
So I think what you said just now is very important, that if you're in the knowledge economy, if you're a software company, for example, then every problem you have is a people problem. One example I can tell you, for example, Blinkist, very famous and very successful German startup, and they struggled with their product development. They wanted to develop an audio feature which was key for their customers and users, and they realized after a while that the reason they couldn't do this is because their organization was too siloed, and that was the first problem they had to solve. So they had to create an organization that was more networked, and that way they could solve their product problem. And I think when you think about the impact on people, like, it's much better to work at a company which is not only a great work environment, but also very effective and creates a great product that users love. So that kind of feeling of success that can come from solving these problems in a good way is very, very impactful, I think.
Cool. If you are a founder, or if you are a startupper, I would love to invite you to comment below. Like, what do you see about these trends? What are the things that concern you more? If you have any questions, like, we have a researcher here, he's writing a book about it. So, of course, you will buy his book when it's launched, but we can even assess that in a live way. So, Dani, what else would you say that is like a... I would love... I mean, I don't want to spoil the book, right? But what can you tell me about a failure that became a success? Like, if you can say, like, an example, like en passant, you know.
Blinkist is a great example, for example, the company I just mentioned. So they were effectively bankrupt at a stage. A funding round, exactly, right? And now they are a 100-person company with over $35 million in funding, over 6 million users. So it became a huge success story. And the way it started is that they realized that they need to work in a different way. And that impacted their product, that impacted kind of the level of talent they could hire. So now they have people from Facebook and Google applying to them because they are so famous for having created a great work environment.
Cool. I mean, I think this is a huge topic, right? We could speak about this the whole day. I mean, there are different books about this topic. Like, if you go to Jim Collins, he's going to talk about, like, how to manage people. If you go to coaching for performance, I don't remember the name, but he's also talking about how to manage people in a different way. If you go to, I don't know, the books from founders from AOL, like, it's Steve Case, he's also going to talk about how he managed people in a different way so he could achieve a different result. But yeah, I mean, again, and I couldn't emphasize it more, talent management is a strategic thing. Csaba, you want to come?
Yes!
Join
Please,
us.
thank you.
Be in the middle, be in the middle.
In the middle.
In the middle, yes.
This time. Okay, hi guys.
Me too.
So,
Yes.
my very simple note for this conversation is that what you are looking for is that the talent management, whatever we say, have to change in the future to a pool management where you are not hiring people to solve a problem, but hiring people based on the talent they have, and they will find the problem. Because right now the most important problem in any startup that they are working on a wrong solution, they are working on a wrong problem. That's the reason why
happens a lot, yeah.
100% of the startups just fail. As you mentioned, Blinkist, they failed first, and then they reburn as a phoenix, and then they started again. I would say a company who restart everything is not a startup anymore, and there are a lot of companies who failed and reburned again. It's just a restart up.
Restart.
They didn't actually fail, so they came very, very close.
They
But
failed.
yeah.
You know, if a company can't pay a check, I would say they failed somehow, somewhere, somewhy.
But in startup life, you always fail. Like that's what it's about. You fail
That's
and
the
then
reason
you
why
get
I
up,
said 100%.
right?
So what I miss from any startup actually in the last 20 years when I worked with them, that the founder always find a problem to solve and start to build in a good way. Start to build mock-ups and wireframes and drawing something, and they will have an MVP. And they are going to get some seed money, then going to the old-fashioned way to Series and other stuff, and they are not validated, they are not verified, they are not doing the right stuff. What all the big companies do actually.
I think that there is even one more step there, because when they start getting money, they start to have to report to the investors.
No, actually they are not starting getting money. They are starting selling dreams.
Yes,
actually.
And then the investors want results, right? And then you stop doing what you were supposed to do in the first place to give results to your investors. And then that's when I mean, it's not 100% that happened like that, but a lot of them are like that.
Yeah. So the difference between the US and the European startups are the biggest problem in Europe, that we want to do startups in any way. Just make startups because it's entrepreneur and it's so cool, and we will have some extra venture money, and we don't have to care about the bills because money will covered by the investors. And you know, when you wake up in the morning and I have to find an idea to solve, and then I will have a startup. And
I don't see it as quite as bleak as that. I think there are a lot of good startups in Europe and in Central and Eastern Europe.
Not really. Actually, all the good startups sold. Yes, sold to Israeli and US companies.
There are quite a few in Berlin,
no startups
London,
in Hungary
Budapest,
who grew up by their own power. But anyway, it's another topic. Go back to the research. So you are doing the research, and it's great, and I'm curious. Definitely, I will read the book. But there will be a white paper.
Yes.
So talk about the white paper and all the presentations where you validate and verify the topic.
Okay, so as you know,
and there will be a session where you work together, guys.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I didn't want to disturb your startup topic, but that's what's my.
That was an interesting perspective.
It is.
Okay, guys. So last but not least, you know that we are going to have in Poland on the 24th of October. We are going to have Central European Startup Awards, the regional finale. And Dani is here. He's going to have a workshop there. It's an invite-only workshop, but the results of this workshop, together with the best startups of the region, will be compressed in a white paper that is going to be released for next year. For this year, we have a white paper already that is also made together with Dani, with the topics from last year. So, startups and corporations, how do the two worlds get together? And then Dani is giving a beautiful perspective on this white paper. He's the mastermind of connecting dots with us. And I would love to invite you to read this white paper that is going to be launched very soon.
Right,
Yes.
and in the white paper we talk about how the startups can work together better with corporates, and also what are the kind of organizational challenges that startups face at the different stages of their growth.
My boss is calling me. I'm going to pick up because he might have a good message for this. Hi, Patty. Hey. I didn't finish yet. I'm live now. We are talking about Dani's research and the Central European Startup Awards.
People are interested already.
Send us a message.
Yes, sure. Yes, I'm live streaming. Do you want to have a message?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, you're live.
Okay, hello, it's good to be alive.
Hello, Patty!
Hello, everyone. Hello, Chubby. How is life over there?
We miss you in the studio, so next time, please, when Rico come to us, just join the conversation. But anyway, we are talking about the white paper and...
We are talking about the white paper and the workshops that we are going to have.
Okay, but guys, I have a special announcement just for you.
Okay, do it.
How about that?
Great.
No one knows that yet, and it's gonna be only this channel where you're gonna, learn about that. So,
Amazing. Shoot it.
we lost the catering sponsor for the 2 nights event just recently. So
Yeah.
I'm going to Tesco now to do the shopping. If you comment what you want to drink, no alcohol, sorry guys, but if you comment what kind of soft drinks you want in the next 10 minutes, then Ricardo can forward it to me, or I can just follow the conversation and I can buy it for you.
Great. Amazing. Okay, Patty, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
See you!
You guys
Okay,
are gonna
guys,
have
so
a rough day.
If you want to have any kind of drink, soft drinks, just let us know, and we'll make sure that my CEO is buying it for you.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Okay, so say goodbye.
Dani, thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you.
It was amazing. Thank you guys for watching till here.
Thank
And
you,
if you have
Chava.
questions, please comment below. Let us know.
Thank you.